We're so aware of autism and ADHD in our kids, but doctors say there's a poor stepsister struggling to get recognition and funding. If we're not talking about it, we can't fix it.
In many ways, Sadie is your average 9-year-old girl.
You woke me up.
Loves Pokemon and pranks, but behind the kindness and affection this little girl exudes, there's a hidden affliction, developmental language disorder.
What is DLD?
DLD is language disorder. Sometimes you have to repeat a lot, and sometimes you forget what you are saying.
DLD hinders how a person speaks and comprehends information. In Sadie's case, it also affects muscle development and fine motor skills.
She does have a lot of anxiety, and I think that comes from being so confused all the time.
And it's exhausting, according to Mum Gail.
All day, every day, she's working at 200% to get about, 60% of effort.
That's a lot for a little girl.
And it's a lot, She mostly has quite a positive attitude about it. She once said that I wouldn't change the DLD because it's part of who I am and I like who I am. But then there's also those hard days.
Just to get by, Sadie needs regular speech and occupational therapy, physio and psychology appointments. Medicare only partially subsidises 5 appointments a year, leaving Sadie's family out of pocket at least $1,200 a month.
You need an insane amount of money and there's just no support.
5 sessions, that doesn't go very far then, does it?
I mean, I'm grateful for it because it's better than nothing, but it definitely doesn't even scratch the surface of what DLD kids need.
10-year-old Jax also has DLD.
Like when we do reading, I can get stuck on some words.
But Mum Leah has seen the difference regular speech sessions have made in her son's life.
Sort of between about $170 to $200 for a 45-minute session. So it is very expensive, although it's so crucial and so needed.
Leah is now studying speech therapy herself to cut costs.
Locomotive.
Yeah, that's it. Well done.
And also because she suspects her younger sons, 8-year-old twins Levi and Louis, also have the condition.
I do what I can at home for the boys, but they really do need that professional therapist help.
Which is why these families were so relieved during the federal election campaign when the government promised to subsidise an extra 15 treatments a year for patients with speech conditions. What they've since learnt, though, is that children with DLD don't qualify for the support, which is puzzling. Developmental language disorder affects 7% of the population. It's more common than autism, ADHD and hearing impairments. In fact, in your average Australian classroom, 2 students will probably have DLD. But due to a lack of awareness, it's not always being picked up.
It seems to be this, poor stepsister of a condition that gets left behind. And we really want to see that change because it's not if but when that we're going to hit crisis point.
Sean Zegenfuss is from the DLD project, which is calling for more support for families in Australia.
We've seen history of, people going into youth justice who've been unsupported and having quite significant mental health needs. We don't want that for the future for people with DLD. What we want is to see these amazing young people like Sadie growing up supported and able to have the relationships, have the job opportunities like her peers.
After all, that's all these parents and their kids want.
If the government are acknowledging DLD and from the top level, then that's just going to filter down.
And these people are wonderful, wonderful human beings who deserve the support of the Australian government.
These therapies are very, very expensive, and the people who are paying the price are children who are already struggling.
Yeah, and these kids are just gorgeous and they do deserve more.